There's no tomorrow.
There's no tomorrow.
There's no tomorrow.
There's no tomorrow. Your name, your life, your story, it matters.
Your story, your name, your life, it matters.
Yeah, you've been so close.
There is no tomorrow.
Despite my distance. Oh yeah, and you're always good. You're always present.
My name is Clarissa Martinez.
I'm Andromeda Coronado.
Hi, my name is Chuck Chapman, ISD teacher at Vista Grande High School.
My name is Rihanna Marufo.
My name is Crystal.
Hi, my name is Jose Vital.
My name is Angel.
My name is Brandon Montecado.
Jerry Valencia.
My name is Vanessa.
Hi, I'm Elena Gonzalez.
Hi, my name is John Andrade.
Hi, my name is Michaela.
Hello, my name is Zach Archuleta.
I'm Jayla.
I'm Aaliyah.
Okay, my name is Bar.
I'm a junior here at Vista Grande High School. I'm currently Mr. French's class as my physics teacher. And one cool thing about myself is I'm actually studying to become a nurse.
I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Yeah. And I like trips.
I think I'm artistic. I like drawing, singing, baking. I like going on adventures.
I was in the Ignite Club.
Even when I won, your eyes are on me.
There's different ways that I choose to cope with things that impact my life in a negative way. Past experiences include I lost my best friend in 2014 on Christmas to a car accident. That was probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. I didn't let it get me down because I can't hold my emotions in. I went and talked to somebody. Yes, I was sad. I did go through a spell where I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to eat. But even through that, I knew the depression wasn't the way I wanted to go. Suicide wasn't the way I wanted to go. I had goals in my life. There's things that I wanted to do. Yes, I've had times when I'm sad, but I've never had times where I thought, this is the end, I can't go on anymore.
I think one of the main reasons for suicide is because people aren't happy with their lives and don't see their lives going in an uphill direction. So they try to stop it as fast as they can.
I think it happens a lot because of bullying at school.
I think it happens a lot because they feel like they're not understood.
Because of probably depression, anxiety, things that they go through at their house, things that they've been through and that they're holding on to. Why suicide happens really often is because we don't communicate as often as we used to, and it's very unknown when people do commit suicide, so I do think it's a communication problem.
I think suicides happen so often in the schools because students feel alone, in a sense, in their struggle and what they're going through and stuff like that, and I think they feel very isolated. And to be alone and to deal with that kind of thoughts in your head, constantly pushing you down, thoughts like you don't matter, thoughts like it is why you even try, those can weigh down on someone pretty heavily, and then when you're alone, you think you're alone, it's really devastating.
Just gotta be happy.
In the Savior's love, I found joy beyond compare. Endless peace covers all of me. When you breathe within, you turn winter into spring. Grace dissolves every fear in me.
I wonder what it'd be like to be dead,
Well, I don't think I can do this no more, man. It's just been really hard on me, and I'm just feeling really hopeless about my life.
My King forever, you are all my heart desires, till the end of time. My soul surrender.
Hector, what are you doing?
Get back or I'm gonna cut myself.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna kill myself.
You need to stop.
No.
I'm
tired of this. Life should end.
Hi. try to kill himself. I mean,
Get back!
Sir, put the knife down!
Get back!
Put the knife down! It's not
I'ma
worth
cut
it.
myself.
Hector, put the knife down!
I'ma cut myself.
Get back! Get back! Get out here! Come on!
All my everything, your love brings me to my...
I'm 14. Since I was in 6th grade, I've been bullied. I started harming myself in 6th grade, and I started getting suicidal thoughts, and it was really hard for me. Last year, I was sent to mental hospitals and stuff for trying to kill myself. And something that got me through it was one, like counseling and stuff, but also like opening up, not holding everything in. I've learned that when you hold things in, it will tear you apart from the inside. But opening up to people and trusting people, it's a good feeling to know that you have people that you can count on.
As a teacher, you encounter obviously any number of students, and I have found that trying to identify someone who may be suicidal is nearly impossible. I use a case in point of Marissa, a former student of mine who was very outgoing, very friendly, had a lot of friends, was never involved with any boy problems or anything like that. She was an 8th grader who came from a good Catholic family, a very loving family. One evening while the parents were out, she was home alone with her brother. And without him knowing it, he heard a gunshot suddenly from upstairs. She had gone and gotten her father's gun from his locked cabinet and committed suicide. No notes, no reasons. No one to this day knows why, which is probably the most terrible part of suicide, is when the family doesn't know why, what could have caused it, what they could have done. I think that what it does, though, is it highlights how youth suicide can be very, very much nothing more than a mental condition, not a mental problem, nothing that has an easy cure, but it can be triggered by things which we can't see, which makes it all the more insidious.
My name is Cassidy Jeffers. I'm a senior in high school, and I go to Vista Grande. I've dealt with depression and thoughts of suicide for about 6 or 7 years now, and I've dealt with self-harm and helped other people through it too. I think it's a really important topic that should be talked about more because it's something that a lot of people I've seen, especially in high school, deal with. And it's a topic that people joke about, but not many people are so educated on it.
Okay, so yes, I have been through depression. I have had suicidal thoughts before. Yeah.
Yes, I've experienced it, and I've seen multiple friends go through it, and I actually lost a friend.
Okay, so I've been through depression. I've been through suicide, but I do have a therapist to help me.
Ever since I was in 6th grade, ever since I was little, I mean, it's been kind of hard. Even for like a child, I still had like grown-up thoughts, thinking like how I look and have I made people happy and stuff like that. I would always think negatively, even though I knew it wasn't good. Just the whole suicide thing, it just escalated from 6th grade. It's calmed down since sophomore year, but sometimes it just comes back because you never know when it's gonna go away.
I had a problem when things crossed my mind that have never crossed my mind before. Suicide. My name is Briette Sipes, and I'm a guidance counselor at Vista Grande High School. I lived like a pretty good childhood, and I have a very loving family. Lived a good life. Never really had any like mental health problems or anything. It was in 2015 that I was ending my junior year in college. I was going to be starting my senior year in college. Just out of nowhere, I just was like feeling very sad and depressed. Then I come home for summer and I just will never forget, like I just felt very sad all the time and I would cry for no reason. Bless my mom's heart, I would call her just crying for absolutely no reason and she would always just sit there and listen to me. This was going on for probably about 6 months. And so finally my friend sat me down and she was like, you know, Briette, you need to go and get help. Like, I know you're dealing with depression and it's not okay. I knew I had a problem when things crossed my mind that have never crossed my mind before. So suicide. And I personally, I could never attempt suicide or I would never plan it. But the thought in my brain of I just didn't want to be here anymore, right? Because I was so depressed. I was miserable. But I could never do that to myself because my family is like so loving that I could never do that to them. U of A, the University of Arizona, has counseling services. So I go to the counseling services there, and the lady, I meet with her, and I meet with her for like 10 minutes, and they kind of do like an initial like little interview thing, you know. The thing she told me, she was like, I've never met with somebody and so quickly realized that they needed more help. That's how badly depressed I was. Then she referred me to an outside resource to go see a psychologist. So I go and see a psychologist. You know, the psychologist, they ask you all these questions about like everything. She goes, oh, I think you might have ADD, okay? And I'm like, what? ADD? I don't have ADD. The people that have ADD, those are the kids that are, you know, that just jump up and down all the time and can't sit still. And she was like, no. She goes, that's ADHD. ADD is where you can't focus your brain. Sometimes in women, if ADD goes untreated, then it can cause depression later in life. So I was like, okay. So she tested me for ADD, and then I ended up having it. So then that's when she put me on like antidepressants, and then she put me on Adderall as well. I literally had just starting my first week of my senior year of college. And I go throughout my first week with it, and then she put me on like one dosage. And then she told me, okay, when the first week is over, take the higher dosage, right? So I take the higher dosage. I'll never forget this. I'm like laying there in bed. I'm at my house. I'm laying there, and my heart starts racing, my arms and my legs go numb. So I'm freaking out. I've never had this like symptom at all. So my friend takes me to the hospital. Nobody knew what was wrong. I didn't know why I had depression. I didn't know why all these things were happening. So then it comes to find out I was actually diagnosed with an autoimmune disease when I was 13 years old, and it's called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. It's your thyroid, and it controls everything in your body. 13 years, I've been on medicine for it. So when I went to the hospital, they took my blood work, and then that came back with my thyroid levels were high. Average thyroid level should be, for like a working person, should be anywhere from like 0.5 to like 2.0 or 3.0, and mine was at like 6.73, which is not good at all. And another thing about the thyroid is it controls your metabolism too. But it really controls everything in your body. Here I am like in this mystery diagnosis, really. I was like, well, I don't know why I have depression and my thyroid levels are bad. I had no idea that they were going to go together. So then I went and saw an endocrinologist. Well, first of all, they had to do like an ultrasound on my thyroid to make sure I didn't have like thyroid cancer or anything. And I had to go see an endocrinologist, and then it's like an adjustment that they make in your medicine. There was never adjustment in my medicine for probably 10 years. So that's why my levels went so high. That is what caused me depression and caused me to be so sad, which is mind-blowing to me. Who would have thought that a thyroid could cause somebody to have depression? My biggest advice to students or anybody that may be thinking about committing suicide is come talk to your counselor, talk to a parent, talk to an administrator, tell somebody before it's too late. But I want you to receive the help that you deserve so you can live this life that you were given and live happy and not be miserable in your own skin, because I know what it's like to be miserable in your own skin, and I know what it's like for your brain just to like not want to live anymore, and it's terrible, and I don't ever wish that upon anyone. When I was going through my spell and when I was going through depression, I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy, because that is so hard to go through. So I understand what students are going through when they're depressed or when they just don't want to live anymore. And you know, a lot of people do understand that. A lot of people, you don't know about it, but a lot of people have thought about suicide or have been depressed that you may not know, because people are often dealing with things that you wouldn't know.
Do you know friends that have gone through it and they were young? I know people that were older that have gone through it. I've definitely had good experiences with being able to talk them through it, and they've been able to get help.
No, but I had a friend that was thinking about it, and then I talked him out of it, because I told him that his family cares about him, love him, and they would really miss him if he decided to commit suicide.
Well, I have been through depression. It wasn't a good place to be at, and I feel like other people shouldn't be going through it. I just surrounded myself with people who cared about me, try to keep my head out of it.
Yes, I have been through depression and suicidal. I got through it.
I have gone through some things, like I was thinking of like killing myself, but then I talked to like a counselor and they tell me everything's okay, you can, if anybody's going through anything, just know you can get through it. You just gotta stay positive.
I didn't have a lot of friends at the time, and I've always wanted friends, so I just reached out to more people and had more people come over. Went to a lot more clubs than what I used to do.
I'm diagnosed with anxiety and depression. Had thoughts of suicide, but my family and my friends helped me through it.
I started getting depressed around my 6th through 7th grade year. Basically, after figuring out like really the reality of what my life was going to be like, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know who to talk to. I kind of just thought about it myself and really thought and stayed alone and kind of kept to myself. Didn't really tell my friends and didn't really want to think about it. I was going through that stage of depression. It kept on going for around 7 months, I can say. And no one really knew because I was fairly well at hiding my feelings. I already knew the personality that I was and I stuck to that. So I would say that I numbed myself. Every time that I thought about it, I numbed myself so I would have feeling. And I just projected a feeling of happiness so others wouldn't get worried. And so it usually, like walking around the classrooms, I knew what I do every day. It's a daily thing. I wake up, say hello to my parents, they ask me what I want for breakfast, I go to school, I talk to the same group of friends. And it continues to go on, and that was the same how I was in middle school. I really just didn't know what to do and who to talk to, so it was really hard to see and feel and just basically project myself. After a while, my friends caught on to how I was because of the way that I was acting and the way that I kept myself. So I kind of spoke up to them about it. I told one of my friends, Sarah, I was like, well, I don't know what to do with my family. I don't know if they would really care or if something would happen. I told her that I didn't plan to kill myself. I didn't think about killing myself. I didn't want them to get crossed up in my feelings, for them to get hurt because of what I've gone through. I didn't want them to feel bad that I've passed away because my sister passed away in the 4th grade. It would only make it worse if I was gone. After going through, I talked to my friend Sarah about everything I possibly could, of how I thought, of who I thought I was, and how I can change, or how I cannot change, and how I can face reality and just make it up the way that I was. And doing so allowed me to express myself, and her giving me advice to understand that I'm the way who I am, and if my friends and my family truly love me, they wouldn't change their feelings for me because I changed. Going through that, I understand how being yourself is important and not keeping to yourself in the sad part of life. Talk to someone who you can trust and who do you think would help you. It doesn't have to be a friend or a family member. It can be always just be a counselor. It can be a teacher. It can be someone in the professional field. As long as you get out there and help yourself, remember who you are and what you're all about. You'll remain happy.
My advice is just think positive. You're gonna get through this.
I'm wearing on my wrist right now. Your life matters, you know? I think the central idea behind trying to keep on going is realizing that you do matter and you're not alone. If you just reach out, there's always going to be someone there. I think that's the key right there, is just to reach out. You don't know who's going to help unless you ask for help. A medic doesn't know who's in pain or in trouble on a battlefield if no one cries out for help, right? That's all you got to do. My friend Akon, he says transparency breeds transparency. So if you're transparent about your struggles, other people are going to be transparent about theirs, and you find community in that. I'd also advise going to church, but I'm outside of school, so I can say that.
Talk to someone about what you're going through. Know that people care and really love you.
Honestly, I think just talking to people and having people open up about like their stories and how they came through it. Like, I know there's like numbers to call and like people to talk to. It's kind of hard to open up to someone you don't know. It's sometimes hard to open up to someone who's close to you in the first place. Like, I hid my depression from a lot of people, and then started coming out when I'd break down in class, and when people saw my cuts, they would question it. I think just people looking out for signs. and sometimes there's none at all.
Do you feel like your life matters?
I do feel like my life matters, even with all my flaws and imperfections. Every life matters, even those like people who do bad stuff.
Oh my. Yes, my life matters.
Yeah, my life matters.
Yes, I think my life matters a lot.
I think my life does matter.
At the moment, before I didn't, but now I'm starting to feel like it does. Yes.
If my life matters, to me, I don't, in my opinion, for myself, I don't think I matter at all, but I know for a lot of people that if I, disappeared or I killed myself, that it would really affect them in a horrible way.
You can't really tell who and who isn't going through it. Be friendly to everyone. Always bring someone up when they're down. Well, me as an individual, I want to be a psychologist, preferably somewhere in therapy. I think it's always important to, it might sound cheesy, but ask people how they're doing and actually let them explain how they're doing. If they don't seem like they're doing good, but they say good because everybody does, just be like, hey, I'm here if you need someone.
What we could do is just be kind to others, treat others how they want to be treated, and just be friendly to everybody.
You can be nice, you can ask someone for help, encourage someone to get help.
Always hear on social medias or something that somebody is either sad or they don't want you to talk to them because they're going through some stuff, they want to be alone. You want to read in between the lines when somebody says, I'm fine, I'm okay. They're not okay, they're not fine. And people say that to mask their emotions. A lot of people put a fake smile on nowadays. For me, I'm always here for anybody, no matter what it is. I could meet you the day that I talk to you, and I'm going to learn everything about you, and I'm going to let you talk to me as if I'm your best friend. I'm going to be there for you no matter what. You can call me at 3 o'clock in the morning if you need somebody to talk to. I'm always going to be there for you, no matter what it is. Now, I can't give you $1 million, but money doesn't buy happiness. I'm a shoulder to cry on. I'm here for people. And always, always, if you feel like you're at the end, look back on your life. Look back on all the things you've done. Look back on your family. Even if you don't see great things in your family, look back on the things that you have overcome. You want to think about positive things. Always try to think of what's next, and it's not the end. The answer is never the end.
Just find somebody who you can connect with and someone you're comfortable with expressing yourself, so you don't have to have all those thoughts kept up in your mind.
I think that it is good to vent to people. You should get an adult involved.
Some people don't understand the struggles that some of us have, and other people just kind of blow it off like they've never been through it. But it gets to the point where everybody does.
Encourage getting help from health professionals, and just have your friends not be ashamed.
We do need to pay attention to people. It's so obvious to see that someone's sad or someone has their head down. So I think even saying that little hello so they know people are there and people see what they're going through really helps. And I think once you do find out, I think the best thing to do is to let their family know if they're okay with it, because family is the closest thing to what they got, and they really need that when they're going through this.
The way I can help individuals decrease suicide would be by trying to get them to know more information on how to prevent suicide, to talk about them one-on-one or as a whole, general group.
If you want a student to confide in you, number one is you've got to gain their trust. You have got to be able to talk to the students at a level that they can understand. It's being a teacher where you're dealing with students all the time should not be a case of, I'm the boss, you do what I say. It's got to be a case more, I think, of a mutual relationship. I will help you to achieve this if you'll help yourself to achieve this, and that way we'll reach a common goal. The student is not going to be able to confide into a teacher that is an authoritarian disciplinarian figure nearly as easily as they will with someone that they can sit down and feel comfortable talking to.
For supply and demand, everyone for some reason thinks a price change in the product. So we're talking about chicken nuggets. They think if the scenario reads the price of chicken nuggets declines, what happens to the demand of chicken nuggets? The price does not shift the curve. All that happens is you are up here on the curve, say that's $5. All you're doing is moving down to this portion, alright? Miss Lucrecia, question for you. Because you've been so attentive today in class, does price shift the demand curve?
Yes.
Try one more time. Does price shift the demand curve, Miss Luda?
Yes, sir. I'm confident
Why?
because it shifts the demand curve.
Again,
Price shifts
Luda,
the
does price, we're talking price here, does price shift the demand curve?
Yes, it does.
Ah, Miss Luda, maybe we should not spend entire classes sleeping and rather be enlightened by our demand and supply lesson. Because you want to know what price doesn't do, Luda?
What does it do?
Price does not, has not, and does not ever shift the demand curve, Miss Luda. See ya.
Bye.
Christian, if you hang back. Question. Well, I'm a little bit sorry about what I did earlier. But you gotta make sure you're staying, awake in class so you can pay attention. Is everything alright with you? You look upset.
Yeah, I just been going through something.
Well, is it home stuff? Is it bullying here at school? What do we have to fight someone? What do we gotta do?
I don't know, it's just a little bit of both. It's kind of personal though.
Alright, well, if you ever need someone to come and talk to, you can come to my class.
Thank you.
See ya.
Okay, hi, I'm Jess, and I am the Dream City College intern.
I'm Josh. I'm the recruiting director at Dream City College.
And I'm Brian. I'm the youth pastor at our Dream City Church Scottsdale location.
We may not know you personally, but you are so loved and you're so amazing.
Oh.
And just think about the way that God sees you. God sees you as perfect, and you are perfect. And there's so many amazing things that He wants to do in you and through you. So I would just encourage you to just open up your heart and just let Him pour into you. And I encourage you to even listen to worship music and let that speak to you. But surround yourself with friends. Surround yourself with people that are going to love on you and show you who you really are in Christ.
I would encourage you with, don't allow your circumstances to dictate your actions. I think it's easy to allow our feelings to really dictate what we do and what we don't do. And maybe you're plugged into a youth group and maybe you're not, I don't know. But I just encourage you to go try out your local youth group. Find where your friends are going and just get involved there. I don't say that being a youth pastor, I say that because that's where change and transformation can really happen. Where the godly people that you really need in your life are going to be. And if you can go there, if you can try it, I mean, really try it. Don't just go there just because you're going. Go there and really try it. Try a relationship with God. I guarantee you, and I can promise you wholeheartedly that it will change the rest of your life forever. Where this may be something you deal with for the rest of your life, but hey, there's that peace and assurance that God is always with you and that you can always push through it.